I wanted to give a couple examples of why communication is so important and how it becomes so difficult when you have a non-conversational autistic child. And you can't really reason with them and explain things to them. How things that just seem so small and simple can become huge things. So just a couple things that have happened here lately. One of them, a couple of days ago, we lost power. There was a big storm and we lost power. So it's getting dark really early. So it was like 4:30 and it was pitch dark inside my house. So I talked to my 4-year-old neurotypical daughter and I explained to her, hey, there was a big storm and so we lost power, the lights don't work. She completely understood this perfectly. Oh, that sucks. And, we went further and explained that maybe a tree had fallen. And, I could even go into details of why exactly it happened. She completely understood and she was fine with it. Even my 2-year-old, she couldn't understand, the why, but she understood, oh, the lights don't work. She looked at me and she said, oh, lights don't work. And she even thought it was fun that we were walking around with flashlights. That was a fun game to her. 4-year-old, 2-year-old, neurotypical daughters. Well, I have a 6-year-old autistic son. And my son was frantically running around the house, flipping every single switch and just screaming, lights, lights, lights. And I grabbed him and I said, baby, it doesn't work. Baby, there's no electricity. I was trying to calm him down. I was trying to show him alternatives. Here's a flashlight. Look at this. I tried my phone flashlight. We didn't have these fake little candles. He's nightlight that's, wireless. And he would just throw them and he was just very, very upset. And at some point he even had a meltdown because it was more, not even that he needed the lights or he wanted the lights, but I think he was just frustrated that he was communicating to me and he was saying lights, lights over and over and doing what he always does, which is just flip the switch for it to work, and he wasn't. And it's almost why is it not working? Why do you not understand me? And that turns into a meltdown and then he's completely blocked and it's just so hard to get him out of it. And my son is 6, and so this was just a huge thing that was so easily explained to my 4-year-old, even my 2-year-old. And for him, it was just not something that he could process. And it was just really, really hard. And then last night, he was playing with something and he got a little, honestly, so small, little cut on his finger. So small. If this had happened to either of my daughters, sure, they would have maybe cried if it hurt. But I would have said, it's okay, let's clean it and put a Band-Aid on it. They would have taken the Band-Aid. They probably would have gone excited to put on a Band-Aid because kids love Band-Aids and stickers for some reason. And it would have been okay, completely okay. Well, my son was completely freaking out. I don't think it was so much that it hurt because it was such a tiny little cut, but he was freaking out because he didn't understand the pain that he was feeling. And he kept just saying mommy, 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 and looking at it. And he would see the blood come out and he was just mad and he kept wiping it everywhere. And the more he spread it on things, he had a sensitivity issue to it. And I think just looking at it and not understanding why this red substance was coming out of his finger, he was freaking out about it. He was really upset and scared. And the more I tried to grab it, he would just go no, and not let me touch it. Obviously he was moving so much that more blood was coming out, so it was making it worse. My son has never ever in his life tolerated a Band-Aid, so I couldn't even put a Band-Aid on it or make him stop moving to even put it on to make it stop. A lot of times we use that liquid Band-Aid spray, but I had to clean it first to make it be able to put it on. Also it needs to dry, so you need to kind of hold the finger and blow on it, and he just wouldn't let me. So he had a complete horrible meltdown over a tiny little cut, and I couldn't explain to him baby, you got a cut, let's just put a Band-Aid on it and you'll be fine, or stop moving it or you're gonna be okay. And again, he's just not understanding what's happening, and then he gets so frustrated that it blocks his head, he turns into a meltdown, and then it doesn't matter what you say anymore. Now he's just really upset, and it's almost to the point he doesn't even know why he's upset anymore. He's just really, really upset, and you're trying to just get him through it. Sometimes you have to wait it out, but it's difficult when there's a danger to it, right? I don't want it to get infected and there's blood everywhere, and the more he's upset and he doesn't let me take care of it, the more mess it's going to be and the more it's going to hurt and it's not going to heal. And so it's you trying to control that, making him understand that you're not trying to hurt him. So also kind of like, hey, don't hit me, don't get frustrated, don't yell. And just trying to help him through it. And it's just like two little things that could just be so small and so simple, but they just become huge things because their brains just work differently and they can't process that. And that's just like a small little thing that happens. I mean, there's things that are like so much bigger, so much dangerous, so much more, problematic. But this is just like to give you a concrete example of how these tiny things just become huge things for them. And it's hard. It's very, very hard.